Hey guys, so a common question I get asked is what's a good inexpensive GPS unit that I can get for hiking, right? Something basic that lets me follow GPX files, maybe plan routes at home and send them to the device, and then use it to follow those routes and have an electronic means of navigation on the trail. So I've been telling people to check out the Garmin eTrex 20X. It's a small unit. See how small it is. It's about 200 bucks or under. It's waterproof, it's rugged, so unlike your phone, you can drop it and the screen won't smash. It runs on AA batteries, which just go right in the back there. Two AA batteries, last 20 hours for regular alkaline batteries, 50 hours plus for lithium batteries. And it has everything you really need to hike with. Like I said, you can make GPX files and put them on here. You can plan routes. You can put waypoints on here. You can navigate to waypoints. Um, Everything you really need. Now, the one thing that it doesn't come with is topographic maps. And if you look at the reviews for it, a lot of people give it 1 star because when you read the review, it looks like it has maps. It actually has a map. It's a very, very basic um, kind of map of highways and interstates and everything. So people get upset because you can't just hike with this as a mapping GPS out of the box. But there are a few places online where you can get free routable topographic maps and you can send them right here and you can use them in Basecamp and you can use them to plan your hikes. Uh, so if you go to HikingGuy.com, I list all the sources and I have all the links for that stuff. So not an excuse. It's a great unit and yeah, I've been using it for months now and just want to show you some of the things I like about it, and I'll show you how to use it so you can get an idea of what it's like. You can get this at any REI. I've got links to it on my website. So again, just go to HikingGuy.com for the full review. But anyway, let's plan a hike and get into it. So my normal workflow is to create my route, my tracks, any waypoints I need before I actually go out on the computer, and then send it to my eTrex right here. So I've plugged my eTrex in with the USB cord. I've got Basecamp open. I could use Gaia, GPS, Basecamp. There's a couple tools, but I'll show you in Basecamp today. So let's create a route, send it to the device, and then I'll show you what it's like to actually follow it out on the trail. All right, so I'm in Garmin Basecamp, and there's not a whole lot to see yet. I can see that my eTrex is hooked up, which is a good sign, but my map is pretty worthless. Here, I'll zoom out. You can see that I'm somewhere along the 405, but otherwise it's not very helpful. So I've downloaded my free OpenStreetMaps, and if I switch to that, boom, there we go. Look at that. It's night and day. I can see trails. I can see details of the trails. And there are tons of these OpenStreetMaps. Not tons, but enough to get you most places. And to show you that there are some variations, I also have this one, which has the same trails here, just a little bit different color scheme and way to designate everything. Anyway, let's go back to the Pacific Street routables. So I have a few tools at my disposal. I can mark a waypoint, and that's this tool right here. And all I have to do is click on that and then click somewhere. So let's click here. I'll click here, and we'll call this eTrex test waypoints. I can do all kinds of things. I can make it an alien face. Maybe this is where I was abducted by an alien and I would like to mark that. Anyway, I can do that, and you can see there it is. I have it right there and it's on the map. I can also create a track. Now, a track is, or creating a track in Basecamp is pretty manual, and I basically have to click at every point on the track that I want. So if I started it, let's say here, I have to click like this, and you can see I'm clicking on each point here. Let's zoom in so I can get some better fidelity. And you can see I'm clicking, and I'll show you how to use this in a second. And you can also see it didn't snap to the trail here. I can see the trail on my track. It's not precise. So let's go over here. If I click on this, I think I can click on this and stretch it around a little bit too.
at other points, so that's not too bad. So I have it there. Let's rename this and call it eTrex track test. Boom. Okay. Now the most useful tool here in Basecamp is the route tool. And when you download maps, one of the things you want to look for is you want to make sure it's routable. And what routable means is that it'll treat the trails almost like it would treat streets. So if you use Google Maps and you say I want to go from New York to San Francisco, it will pick the roads out and it will tell you when to turn or get on a different highway or exit, whatever the case is. So routes are very similar. And if I click on route, you see I get this little dialog. Let's start the routes. Let's start it here. And then I'll click at this intersection and you can see it's routing me on the trail. Go to this intersection. It's following the trail contour so that I don't have to. And then we'll go back here. Very cool. Now, the way this route actually behaves on your device depends on the device. On the eTrex 20, what it'll do is it will basically give you a little chime and turn the screen on when you need to turn. And I'll show you that in a second. But let's rename this and call this eTrex route test. The other thing you can do is you can create a route. Now routes, depending on your device, it'll work different ways. A track is a more reliable way to navigate in general. So what you can do is if you create a route and you don't want to use it as a route, you want to use it as a track, we can just right click on eTrex route test and then create track from route if we wanted to. Not today. Anyway, once I have all of these, we're going to transfer to the device and it's going to say, there's the device I have, the routes, tracks, waypoints. Yes. Send. That was quick. Now if I click on the route up here, you will see, or click on the unit, you'll see that these things are in the unit.
All right, so this is the unit. That's the power on button right there. So let's go ahead and do that. There you can see it's powering up. I have a back button on top. I have a couple zoom buttons up here, and then I have a menu button right there. Also, this joystick button snaps in and it moves around. Nice thing about this is that you can use it if you have gloves on. All the buttons are pretty easy to hit if your hands are wet and moist. The touchscreen versions of this are cool, but if your hands are moist or if you have gloves, it's tough to touch. So anyway, I just fired it up. Let's check the GPS data. So it looks like we have a GPS signal, and that's good. Hit the back button. This is the main menu. It's pretty old school. It's like a phone from 1998, but it's simple, it works, and you can see you have all the different options there. The screen looks decent. Go into it there. And there's a map. This is the free Topo map that I've loaded on there. I can zoom in and you can see I can see the trails, I can see the water that's in front of me over here and all that fun stuff, and I can zoom out as well. Okay, so before I start a hike, let's fire this up. Let's go back. I want the map. Before I start a hike, I like to reset the trip odometer. And it works like a car odometer. It's got my moving time, my miles, my speed, all that fun stuff. So I go here, I go to reset, then I go to clear tracks and data. Oh, I'm kind of fat fingering this because I'm holding the camera and doing it at the same time and I can't really see. There we go. Yes, I'm sure. Now everything is reset. Let's go back from here. Let's find the route we created. So it's asking me where I want to go. I'll find routes. And there's the route. There it is. And you can see we're close to the start here. Let's hit go. All right, now we are on the route. There we go, that's better. So you can see we're on the purple line. We are going forward. I also have the screen, times out, save a battery, but you can see we're walking on there and I can zoom in, I can zoom out. There's the route. So let's see what happens when we get closer to the next intersection. There we go. So you see it just popped on. I got a little chime and it's showing that the trail goes this way. And there we go. It's as easy as that. Now, one of the things I don't like so much about this is that there's nowhere to really mount it. You'll see here there's a thing on the back. You can buy accessories to do it. There's a little lanyard hole in there, but there's nothing like to clip it on. You can buy a belt clip again, you know, 10, 15 bucks, but it does fit right in your pocket. It's pretty small. So you might miss one of those alerts while you're hiking, but if you're kind of expecting it, you should be expecting it anyway. You know, you will get that confirmation. So you get the idea. That's how it works with the turn-by-turn routes, the route navigation. So let's give it a try on the tracks and waypoint proximity. Now, if you download a track, it's not going to give you the turn-by-turn part, but you can fire it up anytime and see if you're on the track or not. And that's more realistic. That, you know, requires you to be more engaged with what's happening, which is probably a better thing. It's not like driving, you know, down the highway. You want to really know where you're going. So let's check it out. Okay, so similar to before, we're going to do go to where to, and then I'm going to choose tracks. And there's my eTrex test track that we created on the computer. There it is. I'm going to hit go. And you can see I'm not on it yet. It's up here. But we're going to go ahead and navigate to that. There we are. And it's pretty straightforward. It's really just going to let you know if you're on that track or not. I can zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in, and there it is. You guys see it? There we go. There we go. We're off on the track. So this was a track to my alien abduction spot. So let's put that in. Let's put a proximity alarm on that. So if I go here, I've got a proximity alarm. I can do it, create alarm. I can do it on a waypoint. You see it better? There we go. That's bright. Go on a waypoint. There's my waypoint. Use. What does it want my proximity to be? Let's do 0, 0, 0, 0, 5. Done. Okay, so now it's in there, so I should have an alarm. So let's go back to the map and continue on my track. All right, so we're hiking, and I know that I'm coming back up to the spot of my waypoint alarm, my alien abduction, so let's see what happens. There we go. There's my alarm. It's just saying we're close to the waypoint. Now, you could see how this could be useful if you mark a waypoint, say for a spring or an important trail junction. To get that alert, we'll show you, you know, that you are close. There's a little split up here. You can see that trail, but I'll show you what it looks like when we go off the trail. We're not going to get an alarm or anything, but it's going to tell us visually that we're no longer on the purple line. There we go. And I'll zoom in more. So you can zoom in. The accuracy is pretty good. And you can see we're not on the trail. So in the real world situation, if you weren't sure where you were, if you weren't sure you were in the right place, you would just fire this up and see if you were on your track or not. It's really as easy as that. And that's generally how most, you know, hiking GPSs work. You need some kind of active involvement in the route that you're taking. You know, it's not like a Google Maps driving from LA to San Diego experience. So, yeah, very cool. Very simple
powerful piece of gear you can have.
So a couple of other thoughts. If you want a altimeter, barometric altimeter, and a compass built in, just get the 30X. It's identical aside from the fact that it has those. Most people don't really need those. Most people are just staying on trails and following GPX files. So I say save your money, get the 20X. If you want to kind of have a second opinion on your track and have multiple devices, I would say if you have a smartphone, just get Gaia GPS and you can do basically the same thing. It's just that you're dependent on your phone, right? So if the phone drops and your screen shatters, you're out of luck. If your battery runs out and you can't change it, like on an iPhone, you're out of luck. So that's why that Garmin, the eTrex, is nice. Again, super small, inexpensive. I carry this in my pack. I don't use this as my primary means of navigation, but I carry it in the bottom of my pack just in case something happens. It's super light, it's easy to use, and I definitely recommend having one. For the money, this can save your butt. So anyway, go to HikingGuy.com and I will give you more information on the unit and where to get it and all that fun stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube and you liked the video, can you do me a huge favor and hit the little thumbs up button on the bottom? That will help other people find it. If you have a question, leave a comment. If you didn't like the video, leave a comment. Let me know why. I'll try to address your questions or concerns, in the comments or in the next video. So, anyway, have fun on the trails, be safe, and I'll see you out there.